It's been over an hour now since the match ended against Fulham, a 2-2 draw in the end, and I'm still sort of trying to sort out my thoughts and feelings about the match as a whole. And I'm in sort of in two trains of thought, whether this is 2 points drop or a point gained, because I'm sort of like swinging back and forth on my thoughts on all of this, because there are points and counterpoints to all of this. Now, first of all, the match itself. The first 10, 15, 20 minutes, Liverpool really didn't do all that well. Apart from maybe, I think, have been one early chance or something like that. But beyond that, they didn't really do all that well. Fulham were in here. Fulham were in here. Going to make it a fight. They were going to make it, a tough match. They were aggressive. They were physical. And when you see the kind of tackles and fouls that happened in the first few minutes, especially that first tackle on Robertson's knee from Issa Diop, I think it was, in the first couple of minutes, you could tell that this match was always going to be a tough physical fight. And it felt at times that that Fulham were getting the better of it. Yes, they gave away a couple of fouls, and got a couple of yellow cards, but you could tell that the intent was there. And within the first 20 minutes, a lot of things that could have gone wrong for Liverpool did go wrong. First conceding the goal, that within what was it, the first 10 minutes or so, Fulham leading 1-0. Then later on, Robertson getting the red card for that last man tackle. And it just felt like a lot of things were just crumbling apart. Whatever hopes and intent that Liverpool would have had for this match, basically trying to win, that ambition felt like it was basically dashed within the 20 minutes, one goal down and one man down. So it was still, it took a tremendous effort to be able to fight back from that situation, and still get a 2-2 draw in the end. So in that sense, in that context, in the context of everything that happened within the first 20 minutes, fighting back to get the 2-2 draw felt like a point gain. However, when I think about it in wider terms, what was the expectation for Liverpool coming into this match? League leaders at home against Fulham, I think the general expectation would have been that Liverpool would be too strong for Fulham, that they would win quite comfortably, quite handily, with the quality that Liverpool have. They're at home, they've got the home support, etc., etc. Liverpool would have been expected to win. So to end up having a 2-2 draw, with after having this kind of expectation in mind, it feels like 2 points dropped instead. So when I keep thinking about it, I keep sort of going back and forth on what I think the perspective should be. Fulham came into this match with a good game plan, apart from being physical and aggressive. They knew when to attack, they knew where to attack, and the number of occasions especially when they played the kind of lifted through ball, to the wingers on either side, or playing that cross-field ball again to the wingers through the match, even before the red card. You could see that was their attacking game plan. The goal that they scored, the attack came down on their left side where Alexander-Arnold should be. So they had the winger run down the left and cross the ball to the center, and they had the player on the right who should have been marked by Robertson. But then Robertson seemed to lose sight of where his player was or should have been. Yeah, and that finish, that finish by the Fulham player, that was not an easy finish. Yeah, he was on the stretch. I think it was sort of like almost like a leaping side kick type of thing on the stretch. So that was not an easy finish, but ultimately it still went in. And Robertson, for his part, again seemed to lose sight of where his player was, and just like that, it was the 1-0. And then again, yeah, after that, the 17th minute, that that big incident with Robertson with Robertson getting the red card. Again, this was a crossfield ball, again from Fulham's left, crossing the ball to their right, and so the ball was lifted over the Liverpool defense line, beyond around behind Robertson, around that region. So Robertson, he chased back, and Robertson did get the ball, but he miscontrolled the ball. It bounced off him. And went to the Fulham player, and Robertson just collided with the Fulham player, and that was it. The red card, last man. No arguments about that. Even after the red card, you know, even after the red card, Fulham's game plan, I think, largely remained the same. They didn't necessarily need to go and go all out gung ho and push and attack non-stop. They were still smart about how they played, when to sit back, when to attack, and they did keep Liverpool at bay for the rest of the first half. And finally, the second half came. Liverpool were much improved. A very quick goal early in the second half. The cross from Salah to Gakpo, and Gakpo with the diving header, that was very nice. And Liverpool were back in it. And at that time, it felt like, okay, Liverpool had gotten some momentum. They've gotten like a second win. Okay, especially second win and momentum. They've scored the goal and attacking the Coppin in this second half. The fans are cheering and willing them on, and there was the kind of sense that maybe Liverpool could sort of intimidate Fulham into sitting back. But as it were, although Fulham did sit back at times, but they were still smart again about when to attack, and especially given the one-man advantage that they had, there was always going to be space for them to attack, and they were smart in the way they pinpointed where to attack. Whenever Liverpool had the ball and tried to move forward, Alexander-Arnold will also move forward, and inevitably he will end up vacating that right back space. And so when Fulham had that chance to try and expose that space, once that space, they had that opening there, they attacked. The wingers just going right down that side. And again, the second goal that Fulham scored for the 2-1 also came from their left wing, down Alexander-Arnold's side. So it was, when that happened, it was already very late, and I thought that this could be just one of those really bad days where everything is going wrong. But then, even later into the match, the subs come in, and Diogo Jota finally back on the field, and in less than 10 minutes after he finally makes his return as a substitute, he scores. And again, that's just what Jota does. He is a fantastic finisher. He will get you goals. I've said before that in my opinion, Jota is the second best attacker that Liverpool have behind Salah. Because when you give Jota the ball, he will get goals for you. Even in situations where where any potential chance is maybe a half chance at best, maybe a quarter chance at best, he can put that away. Jota and Salah are the two best finishers that Liverpool have. And Jota, with the goal that he scored here, shows why I feel that way. Again, it just feels overall disappointing, this 2-2 draw. And while the team deserves a lot of credit for being able to fight back from a goal down and a man down to eventually get the 2-2 draw, it should also be said that what they've done is essentially just climbing out of the hole that they dug for themselves in the first place. Because they went 1-0 down before the red card, and then they got that red card all in the span of the first 20 minutes. Remember, they did not start the match 1 goal down. They did not start the match with 1 red card, 1 man down. All this happened after the first whistle. All this happened within the first 20 minutes after the first whistle. So credit to the team for fighting back, but less credit specifically for that first 20 minutes, and for playing so poorly and putting themselves in that disadvantageous position to begin with. That said, now with this match done, now Arsenal also played their match at home against Everton at the same time, same kickoff time, and they ended up drawing 0-0 at home against Everton. And what all this means now is the league table as it stands with the top 4. Liverpool played 15, currently on 36 points. Chelsea played 15, currently on 31 points. Arsenal played 16 matches, currently on 30 points. And Manchester City played 15 matches, currently on 27 points. So as it is, Liverpool do still have a 5-point gap over Chelsea, who is in second place. And Chelsea will be playing tomorrow at home against Brentford. So, so what the gap will be after that match, who knows? It could be 2 points, it could be 3 points. No, sorry, it could be 2 points, 4 points, or 5 points, depending on what happens with Chelsea. And that's it, though. Even if Chelsea do win, they'll be on 34 points, 2 points behind Liverpool. But Liverpool do still have that game in hand, which is away against Everton, whenever that match will be played. For me personally, at this point, when I look at league table, I really wouldn't think that there should be any kind of pressure or much pressure on the team. Because ultimately Liverpool are still ahead, by a good margin. And it's the kind of gap that would take the other teams maybe 2 to 3 matches to catch up, if results were to swing their way. It's unfortunate that Liverpool have dropped 4 points in the last 2 matches in the way that they have, but I do think that other teams will also drop points elsewhere. And as it is right now, with Liverpool being in the lead that they are, those other teams are expecting Liverpool to drop more points than they themselves may or may not drop. So who knows? And if I look at it again, okay, if let's just as an example, were to say Liverpool were to win their 16th match, Chelsea win their 16th match, and Man City win their 16th match, what would the table be? It would be, okay, all play 16, and it will be Liverpool 39, Chelsea 34, Arsenal 30, Man City 30. So it will still be a points gap of 5, 9, and 9. So if that were the case, it would still be a 5-point lead, and it really shouldn't be a whole lot of pressure. Ultimately, Liverpool are the ones leading the table, and the other teams are the ones who are chasing. So if anything, they have a smaller margin for error, for the rest of the season. But again, it is still a long season. Just fingers crossed that Liverpool try and cut out these silly drop points. please.